Cheers. How are y'all doing tonight? Man, I am not going to turn this camera around. But if I were to, you would see mass chaos and destruction all around. Allie and I are flipping our little apartment upside down, getting ready to hit the road. Our friend Kevin is coming in to do some work on some of our place, and man, crazy. A lot of change happening in our life right now, and it's all good and positive. Hopefully, all good. Well, all this week's change is good and positive for sure. We'll see about next week, if you know what I'm saying. It's good to be with you all. I thought we would continue the album project. We finished up on Daniel the Brave, I believe. Daniel the Brave and Ragtop Angel, and there was a series of years, 2014 through 2017, where we released 5 live albums, two band albums, and 2 live band albums, and 3 live solo albums. And now, if you all remember my self-imposed rules on the album project, when it comes to live stuff, there were so many chapters to my band and some of these songs, right? And again, I believe that music is a living art form, so songs can keep evolving and changing. They can completely change over time, you know? And so unless a song made a complete change, a complete makeover, if it appears on another album, I'm not repeating this song. And for these live albums, most of the songs have now been on studio albums. So I will, if they haven't been featured on a previous studio album, they will be featured on an upcoming studio album. But in 2012, we came out with this album, Better Than Bootleg 1. I had this vision because we were playing so many live shows. And the band sounded so, we were just having so much fun live and connecting so deeply live. And it felt really like that kind of energy was missing from our studio work. And so we decided, okay, well, we're just gonna figure out how to put together a live album. And actually, this was really the beginning of when, we got Josh a nice computer and some good software, and we recorded these awesome live concerts that we were so excited about, and we multi-tracked them, which means every single instrument went into a separate mixer, not just the soundboard that we were listening to, but all of the instruments went into a different mixer. All the instruments got saved separately, and then after the fact, Josh started working on figuring out how to mix them all together. And we called this series Better Than Bootleg because the vision here is to capture the live show. But sometimes sometimes a big part of the live show experience is the energy that's in the room. And so uh, uh, maybe there is a nasty note, maybe there is some missing elements, and so we felt like on Better Than Bootleg series, we would take a performance that we felt was impactful, and we would then take it into the studio. And if we made some mistakes to show, we'd fix those mistakes. If some of our harmonies were a little out of tune, we'd sing some of those harmonies. We had to do less and less editing over the course of the series. You know, I remember, I don't know if we have any Grateful Dead fans in our gathering circle, but man, they had this series of kind of like official releases from bootlegs. It was called Dick's Picks, and they had like 12 volumes, and I always loved that. I always loved how the Grateful Dead, every time you went to see one of their shows, it was going to be a different show, and it felt a little bit like us. Not that we were a jam band, but because every single show we play, we connect differently with the crowd, you know. We try to capture a little of that spirit with the Live Sound Project when we are out on the road. Anyways, there is only one track from Better Than Bootleg Volume 1 that has yet to be released on a studio album. In fact, it is a contender for the next album. We've been working on it in the studio. That song is a song called Erica. And now that I've talked for 10 minutes, how about I shut up and play it? She like coffee in the morning, butter on her bread. She likes the sound of danger, but she plays it safe instead. She likes all the nasty weather, she will take it every time. She says nothing's feeling better than those first rays of sunshine. And she struts along the path that she's on. I know the right road when you worry that it's wrong. Ooh, America, yeah. You've got us spinning like a drug. Your smile announces how we love. Walking to the moon, we all go. Politics and philosophy while she's cutting up your floor. She drinks Jameson and Jameson some more. She's always eating vegan except for bacon when it's around, yeah. Shit, 'cause Erica believes that moderation keeps her grounded. She said, boys playing fast and playing rough. 'Cause life is packed with moments and they don't last long enough. Ooh, and they come. You've got us spinning like a drug. Your smile reminds us how we love. Walking to the moon, we all go. Na na na, na na na, na na na. We go. Na na na, na na na, na na na. And there are times of consternation. Ah, let's start that again. There are times of consternation. Woo. We misplaced the spot behind our eyes. Moments of hesitation, but here comes Erica. She said, let's is how we love. When you walk into the room, we all go na 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 na. We go na 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 na. Security! Do we have bouncers here? This one's causing trouble. Tracy, I bet you there are a lot of y'all out there. I probably mess up almost as many songs as I get them right. Especially on a distracting week like this, huh? Yep, having trouble remembering my own lyrics. Everything else from Better Than Bootleg, Volume 1, has now, at this point, appeared on other albums, which I think is really cool. It is also, I have to say, a great sounding live album, especially for a first time engineer like Josh. He was just figuring it out using his, he was just using his ears, gifted ears. And you know, he caught the bug pretty hard. I mean, he was just, you know, he was so good at digging deep and editing and thinking about the studio side of things, you know. And when I look back, I knew even then, this was 2000, what did I say, 14? I knew then that his time on the road was probably going to be limited with us. Because, you know, he had 3 daughters at home, and you could just tell that that his joy was being with his family, and that he was getting as much joy from engineering and producing as he was from playing live. Different kind of joy, for sure. I can tell you that I know that he misses playing out some things. But I know that now that he's off the road, Josh he's probably happier to be with his family these days, and I get that. I understand. I think it's really the only life I've known for 20 years, but I understand that it is a challenging one oftentimes, and getting used to just being tired all the time. It's got to fill you up in all sorts of other ways, right, to make it worth it. But man, as soon as we released Bootleg 1, we started working on Bootleg 2. With a whole different cropping of songs, and you can hear, if you listen to these albums back to back, you can hear the progression of Josh's engineering and us as a band as far as how we play too, I believe. So pretty fun. I'm glad that these are out there, because playing live is such an important part of who I am as an artist, who we are as a band. Even back then, when our band was very different than it is today. There were 6 people touring around in that band. In 2015, Better Than Bootleg 2 came out. I believe, as a matter of fact, this might be the first album that Karina appears on. Pretty cool. And again, a lot of the songs on Bootleg 2 were not released. I think, if I'm remembering right, I can't remember. I can't remember the set list on that album. In fact, I have it called up here. I should just look at what it was. But here we go. I'm looking at it right now. Songs like Let Your Hair Down, Life of a Thief, The Toast, Steal Your Daughter, were not released yet. And so what's begun happening in this phase of our career is that we were using our live releases kind of as a testing ground, as a test kitchen. And it was a system that was just kind of working for us, because we could record concerts relatively easy because we were playing so many concerts, and Josh was mixing this on the road, and so pretty fun. So anyways, the only song on this album not yet featured on a studio album is one called Hippie Girl. Hippie girls that don't like socks. She keep her hand jewelry in a handmade box. She got the nappy hair beneath the torn bandana. She likes Joni Mitchell and the old Santana. She walks to the left and she dances to the right. She is the one that keep me up all night. The tongue cuts like a brother, she's saying love one another. Trying to run for the cover, but it don't get long till I'm sneaking back like a vandal. Lights me up like a candle, take it down like a handle. Yeah, I'm all gone now. Hey, yeah, now. Girl live in a shack on a hill, up in the mountain where the world is still. She gets all the best grain from a farm down the road, yeah. In the creek, in the holler where the cops don't go. She dances to the rise and voice to the left. She is the one that I like the best. Tongue cuts like a brother. She sends love one another. I try to look for the cover, but it don't that long till I'm sneaking back like a vandal. She lights me up like a candle, take it down like a handle. Yeah, I'm all night. Yeah, yeah. Patchouli. 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 Bacon burrito. She don't shave nothing 'cause it ain't a style yet. If you go to the counting plan to stay on wine, she gon' give you a belt, then she'll take you down. Do the drum sucker at the edge of town. She dance to the right, she rolls to the left. She ain't the one that I like the mesmer. The tongue comes like a brother. She's sending love one another. For the cover, for the one that long till I'm sneaking back like a vandal. She lights me up like a candle, drink it down like a handle. Yeah, I'm a donut. down like an anthem. I'm up on my head. Hey, ooh, yeah. Ooh, can you hear that plane flying overhead? Now there is another song. Oh, thank you for the claps. There was another song that is featured on Better Than Bootleg 2 that is not featured on another one of our albums. And I would normally skip over this one because it is a cover song, except for the fact that really, what's our rush? I thought that we could play this song because I like this song, and there are amazingly, and we'll start talking about the other 3 live albums in a second. But they, like I said before, there are not a lot of tracks on these live albums that don't get featured in the studio at some point. That I'd like to talk about when I'm talking about their studio album. And I love that. I love that about the process that's kind of been developing with this band. That we play songs out and we play live and we feature live albums. And we continuously change the way we perform songs, and we are continuously trying new songs. Some of those songs find their way onto albums, and then some of them find their way onto albums down in the future. And there's a lot of music, a lot of ways to share it, a lot of ways to record it. Anyways, this is a James Taylor song. There's a young cowboy who lives on the range. You know what I'd like to do with this song? Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna try it on this guy. There's a young cowboy who lives on the range. His horse and his cattle are his only companions. He works in a saddle and he sleeps in the canyons, waiting for summer, his pastures to tame. As the moon rises, he sits by his fire, thinking about women and glasses of beer. Closes his eyes as the doggies retire, sings out a song which is soft but it's clear, as if maybe someone could hear. He sings good night Rockabye, sweet baby James. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams? Rockabye, sweet baby James. Now the 1st of December was covered with snow. So was the turnpike from Stockbridge to Boston. The backstreets seemed dreamlike on account of their frosting. With 10 miles behind me and 10,000 more to go. Is a song that they sing, they take to the highway. A song that they sing when they take to the sea. A song that they sing, oh, they're home in the sky. And you can't believe if it helps you to sleep. But singing works just fine for me. So good night, moonlight ladies. Rockabye, sweet baby James. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams? Rockabye, sweet baby James. Good night, moonlight ladies. Rockabye, sweet baby James. Deep greens and blues are the colors I choose. Won't you let me go down in my dreams? Rockabye, sweet baby James. Planes are flying low tonight. All right. Yeah, it's an alright song, I guess. I think he could probably make something of himself as a songwriter if he put his mind to it. Yep. You heard it here first. That guy's got talent. Okay, well that is better than Bootleg 2. Something happened at this point. 2016. I believe. It was. I began something called the Get Folked House Concert Tour. All of these people were coming out to our live shows. The Ramble was in its 6th year or something. It was beginning to feel like a cohesive community was developing, and that inspired me. What also inspired me is this belief that really, if we are motivated as a community, we can do so much. That anything is possible. We are capable of so much. And I came up with this idea, and I really, I just thought that I just thought that it would be possible for us to create a tour. Give my band. We were playing so many shows these days that that I felt like the band needed a little time off to recuperate, and so I decided to give them a month off and to go to as many living rooms of fans as possible. Created the Get Folked House concert tour. The idea was that if you were a fan anywhere in the country or in the world, you could apply to be a host of a house concert. I would show up at your living room, and we would sell tickets, and I would do a concert. And I would go to as many living rooms as I could in a month, and that worked pretty well. In fact, it was so much fun that I did it. I've done it every year since, and that 1 month has turned into 2 months, and the 25 or 30 or so places I went to in that first year turned into 70 in this last year. And every house concert tour before we started the Live Sound Project, I tried to release some new music. Here, I'm gonna just turn off the my fan in the other room. I'll be right back. Sorry. So we decided the first year we were going to come out with two live albums. One was this one, and actually this was the first time that aside from the necklace I wear all the time that you can see on this album cover, this was the first time that Allie began actually using her kind of artistic skills to design for the band. She designed this album cover and its partner, this one here. And so these two came out in the same year. And here they are. And so this first one was me playing the album Ragtop Angel live in concert from front to back. Obviously, we have already featured Ragtop Angel in our album project, but we also came out with this album, Adam Ezra Live, and on it, at this point, almost every song has been released on studio recordings, except for one called All Right Today. Yeah, I really like Allie's artwork on these, on both of these albums. It just felt like me. Of course, if you've been hearing some of the gatherings with the band, we've been playing this song out a lot. It is a contender for the next album, and man, the studio version of this is coming along. It's going to be a fun one. I'm pretty psyched about it. distracting having that album cover real big up there? We'll be alright today. We'll be alright today. Tomorrow is rising up. Yesterday will fall. We are together now in the midst of it all, and we'll be alright today. We'll be alright today. You know I cannot let this moment pass without calling out to the moon and the stars about how lucky I believe we are, and we'll be alright today. We'll be alright today. All our dreams and limitations, all our failures and celebrations together, rise together and rise and fall. All our doubt and inspiration, all our darkness and elation together, rise together, rise together. We bleed, we mend, we get back up and we beat again. We rise, we fall, stand together through it all, and we'll be alright today. 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 All right. I like that song. I like that song, and I love playing with the band these days. I think that the recording is going to come out great. We will see. We will see what happens. But there was actually, so All Right Today was kind of finished, and but one of the songs that I brought, and I think I've talked about it a little before. At the time these were coming out, I was beginning to get invited to go down and write with John Oates, and really exciting development for me. And I would go down and I would bring him all these song ideas. I was super aware that how busy and sought after John was. So every time he invited me down to Nashville, I really wanted to honor his time, right? So I would prep for our writing sessions, and I would come into the writing session with like a little stack of papers, and in each stack of papers were some lyrics or some lyrical ideas to songs, and these songs would be in various states of well, incompletedness, I guess. All Right Today, he connected with, and we kind of did a rewrite of the song. And it was the one song, maybe there was one or two, where after we finished, the John Oates, Adam Ezra version of that song didn't feel as impactful to me as this version that I just sang. Maybe when I am out in the desert and we are hanging out and I'm digging in and sharing some of the songs I've never shared again. And there's still a lot of them, by the way. Maybe I'll share that one night, and we can A/B it. We can listen to both versions and see which one we like better. But it was the only one that I ever went back to John afterwards and said, you know what, man, I'm not sure I'm feeling our version as much as I was just feeling that idea that I had before we started writing. And he was super cool about it. He said, that's all right, Adam. That's cool. So, anyways, all right today. Everything else on that album, Adam Ezra Live, is released on other albums at this point. Pretty makes me happy, because that was not the case when this came out. By the way, for those of you watching that have not heard any of this before, you can stream it all on Spotify. And you should know that when you are streaming our music on Spotify, it actually helps us. The more people that are listening to us and following us, if you are following us on Spotify and you are listening to us on Spotify, you are helping us. You are making us more visible on that platform. You are associating us with the other artists you are listening to, and other people. As we get more and more popular on Spotify, when people are listening to other artists, Spotify will click them over to the Adam Ezra Group. There is a page for the Adam Ezra Group where most of our listenership happens. There is also a page for Adam Ezra, and some of these solo live albums are on that page. So head over there, have at it, help yourself. Streaming is not stealing. I'm going to keep on saying that. Okay. Well, the last album on the live album stretch here, before the next studio album we get to, is one called Live at Tremadol. That is actually another. Well, it's a cover designed by my buddy Robert Hukowski, who designs most of the Adam Ezra Group covers. But that is a photograph taken by Ali. That was on a trip that we took to Ireland, the Beara Peninsula. And every morning I would wake up and I would play guitar a little bit, and I would write songs and think about life. And it was a pretty impactful, special time for Ali and I. And so the Get Folk House Concert Tour was gonna happen this year, 2017, and or maybe it was 2017, I believe. And so in the end of 2016, I played a concert in Watertown, Massachusetts. It's called the Tremadol Concert Series. You all should look it up. It is hosted by my friend Dean Stevens, and they have awesome artists playing there all the time. It's super underground and grassroots. Most of the people that play there you will not have heard, and they will all be awesome. Of course, back when concerts happen again. But check it out when you get a chance. All right. So, another contender for the next album, featured on Live at Tremadol. I guess this is my surrender. I've tried to bend your ear, and I know that there are so many others out there that I would rather see when I am looking in the mirror. I know that I don't belong here. You've given me all the signs, and I'd be better off if I didn't chase after all the things that I do not have every single time. How did I think it was right? I did it so wrong, wrong, wrong. How did it take me so long to see that you are gonna keep chasing after every pretty face you see? And I am done wasting my time, wishing that the person you were chasing was me. I've thought about switching scenery. I've attempted to make a change, and I keep coming back to dwell on the parts of me that probably will never be explained. These parts are so familiar. Love-hate is what I got, cause sometimes of everything that separates me from the pack is also something that I know is existing only in this spot. And I know you do everything right, but for me it's so wrong, wrong, wrong. How did it take so long to see that you are gonna keep chasing after every pretty face you see? And I am done wasting my time, wishing it would pass. Every time that I try to be like you, I wind up so easily broken. I'm finally used to watching me walk away. And you can take your pretty perfect self out of my way, cause you are gonna keep chasing every pretty face you see. Wasting my time, wishing the person you were chasing was me. Another contender for the next album. I think I mentioned that. And also happy with how that recording is coming. And I can't wait to take you all into the studio with me on a journey. We have so many videos that we've made, and so hopefully we're kind of in the process of organizing them and figuring out a way to share them all with you all. Speaking of my friend John Oates, here's another song that he and I wrote together. This is called Door to Door Sales. Some see me coming, pretend they are gone. One more street over, no closer to home. Gray frozen winter, I'm just scraping back. Door to door sales, it's my last chance to fail. I'm a worn apparition, the eyes been turned away. Block after block, life on the clock. My road to redemption, steps I walk each day. watching my daughter walk home from class. She only knows me from an old photograph. But even the shadows, I'm reaching for life. Dawn and North sails, it's my last chance to fail. I'm a worn apparition, your eyes will turn away. Block after block, life on the clock. My road to redemption, the steps I walk each day. Being a hard mom of hustling for the little I made. One more street over, then done for the day. Back to my bottle on a dark end of town. Dawn and Dawn sails, it's my last chance to fade. I'm a worn apparition, your eyes will turn away. Block after block, life on the clock. My road to redemption, the steps I walk each day. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Raise up your glasses, let us drink to the wind at our back. May it always roll steady wherever you roam. May it turn when you're ready to carry you home. May it keep you ahead of the rain. Raise up your glasses, let us drink to the heavens above. Some say it's a glimpse of God's great design. Some say it's the science of all things combined. May we look up and always feel wonder. Here's to good company. Here's to the drink that we share. Raise up your glasses, let us drink to this time that we have. These moments pass lightly and they won't come again. May our lives all burn brightly right up to the end. May we live them with joyous abandon. Raise up your glasses, let us drink to the end of the day. Let us drink to the work when the working is through. Let us drink one to me, let us drink one to you, yeah. Let us drink one to those who aren't with us. Here is to us, and all that we see is to our hearts and the air that we breathe. Here's to that good company. Here's to the future. Here's to the past. Let us drink one glass slow. Let us drink one down fast. Let us drink one as this night is our last. Here's to the drink that we share. Oh, yeah, to the drink that we Thanks for hanging with me. Man, we made it through 5 live albums today. I mean, not really. Just a couple. A couple orphan songs from the live albums. Better than Bootleg 1. Better than Bootleg 2. All of these albums. Oh. It didn't work the way it was supposed to. All of these albums came out over the course of 3 years, and in 2017 we released an album called Songs for a Movie, and I cannot wait to dig in and talk to you about all of those tracks. There are 17, I think, tracks on that album, and it's gonna be fun to just. That was a really unique album in so many different ways. But we're not going to do it tomorrow, because tomorrow I got special plans for you. And that's all I'm going to say, except that it's going to be a surprise, and you are going to be excited when you find out what it is. So there. Thanks for being here with me. Please stay safe, keep on looking out for one another, and I'll see you tomorrow.